Now that you know how to prove that triangles are similar, let's look at using this as an application in other words, solving for missing sides. So we're going to be doing that by using proportions. So how do we set up proportions? You did these in middle school. Basically, we had the proportions where one ratio equals another. But the first trick is to make sure that we have the right vertices with the right vertices. So we want to determine which vertices are corresponding. And we want to use the congruent marks, or the measures of the angles, to determine which sides are corresponding. So first of all, we want to write a similarity statement. And one way I can just use congruent marks, I don't have to reorient or redraw. That's one option. And I can say, okay, A has to go with Q. So I'm kind of writing my A over there so I know my order. B is going to go where S is, C is going where R is, and D is going where T is. So if I go in the same order A, B, C, D, that means it's similar to Q, S, R, T. So that is one strategy. Now another thing, we use the vertices to match corresponding sides. So once we've got our vertices set up, then we can set up our sides, because remember, that's what we're using in our proportion. One method is to redraw the polygons so they're oriented in the same way. So you see how I kind of copy the polygon over here. And another approach is to color each pair of corresponding sides. I actually like using both. That's like a surefire way to get your proportions right. A lot of people can get confused on proportion. They want to mix up the sides, and if you don't redraw, it's a lot easier to make a mistake. So here I am putting my points back down. So it's oriented the same way, and I can see how it goes. I can also color these so that it's a little easier to see the corresponding. Now, once I've done that, the next thing I want to do is set up a proportion, and there are a couple different ways I can do it. One is I'm going to use two equivalent ratios. So approach A is I'm going to use what's called the similarity ratio, or one side to the other. So in this case, it would be a side in polygon 1 over a side in polygon 2. So you can see how I have the two colored yellow, that's AB, and QS. Then I would pick a different side in polygon 1 and a different side in polygon 2 with the same color. So here I'm using CB and RS. So that's one way to set up a proportion. Honestly, I prefer the next method, which is doing one polygon to the other polygon. And the reason is the color kind of keeps it straightened out, and the polygons keep it straightened out. They both work. For me, this is just easier. So if I do side A to side B in polygon 1, I'm going to do side A over side B in polygon 2. So AB is yellow, and that goes with QS. And BC is blue, and that goes with SR. So in this example, I'm going to show you, ignore the purple that's going to come up. In this example, I'm going to show you how to complete the similarity statement. So one thing I've done that wasn't on your notes is I've redrawn my first polygon. So I'm going to kind of ignore this after I redraw this. Take the points and match them to their congruent marks and fill in what's not known. And so you can see that EFGH is similar to KMJL. EFGH, KMJL. I actually don't need any more this particular polygon in the center, so if you wanted to, you could just kind of scratch this out. Okay. Now I do need those numbers, so I want to be able to see them. Okay. So I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use these two. Now I can highlight the corresponding sides using color. That's a 5 back there and a 7. And then I'm going to relabel these sides using the one that I kind of X'd out there. So my Y goes here because it's between K and M. Y minus 1 is on the opposite side. 8 goes between K and L. And 10 goes on the last side. So I'm going to use the colors to complete the proportions. Here, X is a blue side, and X plus 4 is a yellow side. So I need blue over yellow on my other polygon. So that would be 10 over Y. Here, Y is a yellow side, and 8 is a purple side. So I'm going to yellow over purple from the other polygon, X plus 4 over 5. Finally, I have red for this one. I'm going to put red for the empty spot. and then I have purple for the missing side there. So I fill in 7 for the missing red side. Y minus 1 goes with the 7, and 5 goes with the 8. So for further reflection, what are some strategies to get our similarity statement set up? I personally think it's a really good idea to redraw, and it'll save you some heartache. What are some strategies for setting up proportions? You can have one polygon one side to the other, and then the other polygon the one side to the other. So it's your choice, whichever way you want to do it. You can also go same side in one polygon to same side in the other, so the same color sides over the same color sides. I just like having like yellow over red and yellow over red.